This is David with Good Enough Gear. Welcome to another installment of the RODE NT1 review. This is part 2. Today we will be looking at the USB portion of the microphone, and in fact we will only be looking at one aspect of that, 32-bit float. Here we go. This recording is going to be way too loud. You can hear it clipping. This recording is going to be way too loud. You can hear it clipping. Except in that second example, you couldn't hear it clip. That's what 32-bit float gives you. By the way, I'm recording this segment at that same overly loud volume. You can't hear it though, because 32-bit float. Now for the bad news. 32-bit float is not just an option that you engage. It is a process, a workflow. With other mics, there's no option for enabling 32-bit float. You need an audio-to-digital converter for that. XLR mics don't have audio-to-digital converters. They have to be connected to an interface with an A to D converter. That is something that most interfaces don't have. The ones that do are typically quite expensive. USB mics have to contain all of the components inside of a single product. This includes the audio-digital converter. No separate box is required. 32-bit floating point converters are built into the RODE NT1-5th Generation. This is a first, and it reduces the friction between the beginner producer and clip-free audio. That said, reducing the friction does not altogether eliminate it. The interface has been eliminated, but there is also a software component to deal with. You have to be using a recording software product that can work with 32-bit float input. If your software can't handle 32-bit float, your hardware doesn't matter. The entire workflow has to be 32-bit float, or you won't get it. If you are a Logic Pro user, you're out of luck, at least for now. Apple has shown no sign of being interested in enabling 32-bit float in their workflow. Now, the good news is that Reaper is 32-bit enabled, and it can be used on an extended free trial. So, if you don't have any money but you'd like to try 32-bit float with a professional software package, try Reaper. And then when you decide to buy it, it's very inexpensive for the license. If you want to live the 32-bit float lifestyle, you are going to have to say goodbye to Logic Pro. Once you have compatible recording software, you still need to go through all of the settings where it is possible to be tripped up. By default, your software will not be set up to take 32-bit float input. You have to set it up for that. You also need to make sure you don't have a sample rate mismatch between the hardware and the software. This is not a tutorial. It could be different from one piece of software to another. Just be sure that all of the settings are correct. There are situations where you think that you've set everything up for 32-bit float, only to discover that you have recorded in 24-bit by mistake. The software can actually force the mic into a lower setting. So check it. Then check it again. With regard to the RODE NT1-5th Generation, there is yet another 32-bit sized caveat. But we'll get to that in another video. This has been David with Good Enough Gear, saying goodbye for now.